Hello, friends and adventurers, and welcome back to Sally Cat Plays Exile 2 Crystal Souls. Turns out I did accidentally kill some friendly Nephil warriors last time, and that got the prisoners mad at me. Fortunately, I had a backup save close enough that it wasn't too much of a pain to come back and redo this dungeon. So now that the Nephilim prisoners are still friendly, one of the Nephilim slaves nods at you. It responds with a combination purring growling noise. You take that as its name. Waiting. It bows. We hope only to escape. I can help with that. Open the locked door. Pull the lever. And we hear the running and the wild howling, and the slaves are freed! Go run, you are free! Or, hang around, whatever. In the confusion of the escape, this hidden cache of supplies got forgotten. Food and weapons, carefully squirreled away, are carefully stacked throughout the small cavern. Yoink! A knife, a club. The flail might actually be worth a little money. Seriously, are you guys blocked in by the special dot, or just poor AI pathing? Oh, hello. You are not friendly, because you are a Nepharim. You are a Nepharim who thinks it is a good idea to enslave people similar to you. These cave giants really are a pain. And another Nephar warrior. You get the business end of my weapons. Also, I never did come back and investigate this place. Eeny, meeny, miny, you. When you grab one of the bottles, the cork on the other pops off. Smoke pours out of it, filling the room. Then the smoke coalesces into several creatures. Okay, that's 3 demons. This could be a problem. Let's do our own summoning. And, okay, that's pretty crap damage, even with the enemy cursed. I don't think flame arrows is going to do much good against demons. Scorn, can you do much of anything useful here? Well, at least these slimes are proving to be extra targets to distract the demons. Okay, this might not be as bad as I feared. Turns out getting a solid bless yourself, curse your enemies balance going is pretty effective. Very effective indeed. And now it is time to get out of him. I said it is time to get out of here. Yeah, one more. And go find somewhere to identify and sell off our loot. Possibly take a rest first. Oh dear, you are not an Exile patrol. You are Empire soldiers. This might get a little hairy. Nah, not so bad. Blessing and Hasting did the trick. The Exile patrols were right. This area is crawling with Empire soldiers. But in the meantime, here's Fort Duvno. I'll skip over that obligatory perimeter check for you guys. You meet a soldier of exile. He clutches his steel broadsword firmly. Just call me Grunt. That's what I am. Well, you see, sometimes my captain tells me to kill someone. So I get on over there and kill him. That's how it works, pretty much. Straightforward. So what do we have here? JR's Fletchery. Amalia's Supplies. And Walnur the Mage, Sage and Alchemist Extraordinaire. Pretty much the same lineup this had last game. Also, very useful for our current purposes. You meet a short, stocky man with blonde hair and a broad smile. His mage's robes have tiny holes in them, as if eaten away by little specks of acid. I'm Walnur. Welcome to this place of learning. He waves at the bookshelves on the north wall, collecting all the knowledge there is to be had in our subterranean abode. Enough to identify your items, for example, or to give instruction in alchemy. He indicates the tiny holes in his robes with embarrassment. I do alchemy often, although my concoctions often spit back at me. Many of my recipes are quite useful. In particular, I know how to make 2 valuable potions with glowing nettle. If you have the money and inclination, you can buy that knowledge. Medium curing and medium healing. Those could indeed be useful if I ever felt like doing alchemy. I'll do the identification off screen. There is an exceptionally shifty-looking woman behind the counter. She brazenly cleans and sorts lockpicking tools, and prepares vials of poison with greasy fingers. She smiles unpleasantly. I'm Amalia. Hi. You can buy tools of thievery here, and sell any goods you may have, acquired in your travels. She chuckles. You're lucky. You've come to my shop during generous times. Well, the soldiers are too busy to worry too much about a little petty thievery. And anyway, the stuff I sell is too useful. Aha. Strong poison, torches, and basic lockpicks. Pass. You meet a small woman with delicate features and long brown hair. She looks up from the large pile of arrows she was working on. Just call me JR. Well, right now I'm making arrows for the troops. You can purchase some yourself if you like. Every weapon maker around here is busy. We're preparing for the worst after what happened in Kotra. The Empire is killing every exile they can get their hands on. If we don't get strong enough, we'll all be dead. Yee. Ha, bronze arrows. They're expensive. No room in inventory. Well then, I'll have to come back here later. Because I do keep running out of bronze arrows, and the regular plain arrows just aren't very good. You are in the middle of a makeshift refugee camp, filled with the men and women who successfully fled Kotra after it was destroyed. Living conditions are crude at best, but livable. The people are poorly fed and the fires are weak, but they're getting by. As you look around, you are peppered with questions about what's going on in the outside world. Some worried souls also ask if you've seen someone still not accounted for. You answer their questions as best you can, and leave. And no, we have not found Nance here. There is a thin old man sitting under the tree, fishing. Eh? Oh, hello. Call me Scott. Oh, just an old man whiling away his last year's fishing. Nephilim destroyed my farm years ago. Now I just do odd jobs for my keep, and relax fishing. And keeping those darn refugees away. They scare the fish! That's all that guy says. I can't help but feel like he was modeled after someone Jeff knew in real life. You are an archer. Are you interesting? You are! You meet a very heavy-set man with a longbow slung over his shoulder and a full quiver of arrows at his side. He looks you over nervously as you approach. Gordon. Just killing time. Okay, I guess we haven't found the person who tells us what to ask you about yet. The bar is tended by a striking woman with short black hair and a pleasant smile. She's quiet for a barkeep. She just raises her eyes as you approach. Alice. She smiles. Room, 5 gold. Drinks, 2 gold. Gossip, free. I'm an adventurer, so I love gossip and rumors. She leans close. Archer in town. Name's Gordon. Asking around about passes or some such. He doesn't want people to know about it, but he was rude to me. Oh well. She grins mischievously. Aha, there we go. So how about some drinks for us hard-working adventurers? She nods in thanks and fetches several glasses of wine. You can't tell what the wine was made from, but it's excellent. You ask her where it came from, and she says, Rorick, north end of town. Very nice. You meet a small, gorgeous woman, wearing somewhat sparse dancer's clothes. Bereft of an audience, however, she seems somewhat down. She floats gracefully over to you. I'm Elodie. She sighs. Just passing the time. Tonight I'll be dancing. You should come to the show. She does a twirl on one foot. It's a move both graceful and pulse-quickening. Exiles have always needed some cheering, now more than ever. I guess being thrown down here gave me my calling. I was one of the last people thrown into exile. They didn't want me to dance up there. Too, stirring, they said. I wouldn't give it up, so they threw me down here, where people really need some beauty in their lives. She smiles and blushes. It's not much, I know, but it means a lot to me. Good for you. Hey Gordon, I heard you were asking about passes. At first, he looks upset that you know what he's after. Then he looks you over carefully. "Ah, I know you. You're the ones who went to the Vanatai. It's safe to talk to you." He pulls you aside. "You see, I've been going from town to town, looking for certain scrolls from the surface." He pulls out a vellum scroll, edged in red ink. "This is a red pass. The troops down here need passes to get into Empire lands. I'm looking for a blue and a grey pass. That's why I'm heading down to Murtis. My goal, you see, is to look into some rumors." He looks very worried. "I hear from prisoners the Empire's building this portal, from up there to down here, so they can teleport down a whole army. They'd wipe us out if they could do that. So I'm going to look into it. I'm not the best spy, but I know these caves as well as anyone." That could be very bad news indeed if the Empire could suddenly move more than a handful of people in at a time. This bronze plaque reads, Fort Duvno Barracks. You look important. You meet a tall, gaunt soldier. His face is heavily lined, and not just with age. His expression seems locked in a permanent scowl, and you doubt his eyes could ever be anything but cold. He looks you over. "I am Captain Johnson. What can I do for you?" "I rule this fort. Fort Duvno, a knife aimed at the heart of the Empire." He smirks. "A strong foe, but we can make things go very ugly for them when we get our hands on them. Very ugly indeed." He gives you a close look. "You're adventurers, are you not? I often look to hire adventurers to go on missions. I have strong troops, but they have their hands full babysitting refugees. If you're interested, let me know." "Yes, I do have something for you. Somewhere to the west, to the north of Kotra, some sliths, some of the hostile kind, have a hidden lair. Find it and kill a whole bunch of them, and you'll be rewarded." So, much like last game, Captain Johnson wants us to go and kill some non-humans. Shall we unlock the doors of the jail? But of course. Curled up unconscious in one corner of the cell, you find an Empire prisoner. He's been savagely beaten. You wake him, but he's capable of no more than incoherent raving. You leave him to his tortured rest. Okay. And this room has only garbage. Uh-oh, I'm starting to get graphical glitches. I might need to reboot my emulator again. There is a young, dark-skinned man sitting behind the table, chopping healing herbs as fast as he can. He's obviously exhausted. Well, Carol Hamer is farther north nowadays, but Fort Duvno still has a healer in this corner. Euchre the healer. Are you well? He looks you over for ailments. Healing all who come to me. I have some time to help you if you need it. Though heaven knows everything has been nuts since the barriers came down. The assault on Kotra was bad enough, but when the Vanatai barriers came, the war really started up again. I think he means when the barriers came down, but I'm not sure. The Empire was more reinforced, and we were more prepared, and the bodies have come non-stop. I need more supplies, but I do the best I can. Herbs, clean gauze, grey mold salve, comfrey root. I do what I can, but I'm always running out of something vital. I don't think we can bring this guy any medical supplies. Someone please let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. Of those, Grey Mold Salve is pretty much the only plausible quest item. Clean Gauze doesn't really exist as an item in this game. I thought you were an escaped prisoner for a second there. A man with the look of a refugee walks up to you and mutely holds out a begging bowl. He has a resigned, sardonic expression. He bows his head in an almost, but not quite humble manner. I'm Dorkin, sirs. Well, I'll tell you, I got thrown down here for being poor, no more, no less. So I go to Kotra, and I work hard, make a business for myself. That's right, I was the best cobbler in Kotra. And then the Empire comes down here, and they make me poor again. So I'm starting to figure, maybe some fellows just meant to be poor. So could you maybe give me a coin? Sure. He nods. Thank you kindly. Man, that really sucks, though. That not only was he exiled for being poor, but then the Empire came and wrecked his livelihood again. Marble plaque set in the wall. Faye's Fine Goods. Open soon. Rorik's Rations. There is a jolly merchant sitting behind the counter, with the look of one who's done much sampling of his own wares. I'm Rorik, brewer and cook of great renown. He laughs and jiggles. I was banished into exile because my wines were too good, made them jealous, and I still make them. You can buy the best wines and rations here to take the edge off your journey. Indeed, we can buy Chateau de Almeria, 33, Eau de Toadstool, 35, and a very fine Fungus Chardonnay, 26. Excellent vintage. As far as I know, despite the different prices, all of these would most likely have the same effect of just getting us drunk and cursed for a little while. We can get cheaper rations elsewhere. Well, if you're brave or stupid enough to travel in these times, I'll do what I can to help. Good day, sir. I wonder how his fungus wines compare to the wines he made on the surface of presumably grapes. Right, locked door. And what do we do with locked doors? Unlock them. An imposing woman with graying hair and a severe expression is setting up shop. She looks highly displeased at your intrusion. I'm Faye. Now leave. I'm setting up my shop, and you are trespassing. She looks ready to call the guard at a moment's notice. I'm still recovering from escaping Kotra. I don't need you bothering me. Yes, I was there, and I've had what I have to say about it ignored enough. Now leave me alone. Ah, but I don't want to ignore what you have to say. She snaps at you. Yes, ignored. They all say they don't know where the attack came from, but I saw lights on the island south of Kotra not long before the troops arrived, and they say I imagined it, that there's nothing there. She speaks very loud and very clear. You won't deal with me, I won't deal with you. Now will you please leave? Yes, I will. I leave and close the door behind me. And now, a moment while I do my business. Okay, I'm done. So the exciting haul from this round is we got a bunch of lightning rods for Scorn. And that flail I thought might be useful that we picked up from the hidden cache from the Nephil prisoners is a flaming flail. Not only does it do pretty good damage on its own, is a magic flaming weapon. This could be fun if we get Morrowind into melee combat. But that is all that we can do in Fort Duvno for now. We still need to head back to Silvar to report our current mission complete. Aha. I wondered if this grove with the gremlins was still around. You start to enter this dark, heavily overgrown glade, when you find that the path is blocked by a huge crowd of gremlins. You immediately notice two things. One, they are extremely glum, and two, they are all male. Very odd. Approach them. I like that the options include destroy them utterly and run before they mess us up. But we are going to talk to them. The gremlins seem too depressed to react as you approach, although they still block your way into the glade. However, one of the more elderly of the purple creatures approaches to talk to you. You ask what's wrong. He says, "It's so awful. You see, recently all our women decided to go out for a walk. Or a wine run, we aren't sure. Anyway, they never came back. It's scandalous. I mean, it's usually trees that act like that." And I am now old enough and have read enough Tolkien to actually get that joke. "Oh, if only someone could tell us where they went. Their absence is causing us great, discomfort. And we would greatly reward anyone who could tell us where they were." He turns to leave, then remembers something. "By the way, they were all wearing pink ribbons when they left. This may help." He then turns to go back to moping. "Aw, well, sorry dude, but we have no idea where your wives might be at this point in time." Oh look, enemies. And probably more enemies over here? Oh, no, Exile Patrol. Nice. Oh, this one's new. You meet a band of refugees. You greet them, and they tell you they are fleeing the recent destruction of the city of Kotra. They ask if you found any place where they can find shelter, but there is little you can tell them. They thank you and depart. I mean, you can find shelter in Silvar and Fort Duvno and Fort Exile, but it's just okay shelter at this point. Still better than nothing. So, first let's talk to Arm. It purrs happily. "We thank you for your good efforts in this. My people thank you, and wish to help in your war. Goodness to you." And now to get our official reward. He stands and shakes your hands. "I've heard that you led a successful revolt. Well done." Never mind that first attempt where we accidentally made the prisoners mad at us. He shows you a scroll. "I'll send this to the castle. This will help you gain a higher clearance. On behalf of Exile and the Nephilim, I thank you." Alright. And there's one more little bit that I want to show before I end the episode. So earlier, we were not able to enter most of these rooms with the refugees. This building is full of refugees. They let you in to pour thanks upon you for slaying the brigands that were harassing them. They're poor and almost without food, but thanks to you, they're not totally without hope. Yay. Still feel bad, but some warm fuzzies to balance it out. He smiles. "I heard what you did to those brigands. Word got around. Nice to know some exiles still care." "The ones who were bugging us got slit, but more will be back. Bet on it." Well, I'm sure she'll be happier if and when we find Nance. But that is probably enough content for one episode. So, as usual, I'll see you next time. Have a good one, everybody.